Daniel, can you hear me? Daniel, Daniel, can you mute your, can you unmute your mic? Daniel,
Yes.
okay, good. So, are you fine, Daniel?
Yeah, currently I'm okay.
Okay, how's your progress on your project?
I managed to register an account
Mm-hmm.
and log in to the system.
Interesting. And so it means that your MVC works, your controller and view and the model
Yeah,
works.
I think it works, but I just don't know how to set the differentiate between the teacher, staff, and teacher, uh, teacher,
Student, parent,
student, and
and admin.
parents. I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
Okay, and let me share something with you. But first of all, let us talk about the homework first, if you
Oh
don't
yeah,
mind.
sure. You want me to show my screen or?
Yes, please. Yeah. So until the screen appears, may I know, did you apply the latest change? I think we applied that last class, right?
Which change?
So the change that, um, or the update to the database that we have done, I think we do it
Uh,
last
yeah,
class,
last
right?
class. Yeah, we did
Okay.
last class.
So it means that at the moment you logging using the database that we created. Did you?
Uh, no, it's a different database I'm using.
Different database. Okay.
Yeah,
So you created a different database?
yeah, because I haven't really figured out how to
Ah,
connect to the last database using Laravel. I tried to do it. I tried to watch the videos, but I can't figure out how to do that.
interesting. Okay, that's good. And so you are setting at the moment. So what is the name of the database that you're using at the moment?
I think I call it FYP database 2.
Okay, and where do you set um the so where is the setting? Where do you change the setting about the name of the database? Any idea?
Change the setting of window.
So okay, so there is a file inside your Laravel folder, your project folder. So there is a file that actually it's extension.env. Did you edit it before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, okay, good. Can you let me check if I can make it full screen? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, please explain it to me, please, if you don't mind.
All right. So this is the
You're making,
calculator.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
making.
making a calculator.
Okay,
Calculator.
okay.
Okay. So I asked the user to are using if else
Mm-hmm.
operator, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm using so I asked the user to enter two numbers and an operator.
So okay, Daniel, I am not very sure. Okay, so I just want you to understand this, Um, so uh, uh, basically, I'm an engineer, and before I stopped teaching, I studied. I didn't just switch between teaching and being an engineer or programmer before. So what I did is I used to teach in institutes in the north, in the northern region. But that before I do any studies for teaching. So what I learned is that actually the so I'm learning in foreign universities. So it's universities in US and so on. So the point here that one of the teachers, she's actually a professor in a university, a professor in engineering, and she explained that she have a limited working memory, and that limited working memory make her suffer a lot when she wanted to study math. So of course, math, programming, everything will be very, very difficult for her. So I am not very sure if I can relate what she was explaining to you or not. But it's just some monitoring from what I see from your side. So I think you have maybe a little bit smaller working memory compared to others, but this will never prevent you from progressing unless you give up. So please don't give up. When you give up, I can know from your answers. Okay, so I mean, it is totally fine that you come with a half done homework then to ask any help, because if you ask help, you will never improve. So okay, I know like I told you, I'm able to know. I'm not teaching one class, I'm teaching also others, and everybody, some people are very, very smart but very, very lazy, and some people are hardworking but maybe not as smart. But just believe me, believe it or not, research says that both can reach similar levels if you put the effort. So the difference between you and very, very smart people, I don't say you're not smart, I'm not saying this, but I think you somehow a little bit struggle with understanding things, and there is no issue with that, because again, that is something that we have no hand in, right? So we accept that, but we have to put an effort, accept and know what is the issue, and we try to find solutions as much as we can for the issue. But don't give up. I don't want you to give up. You give up, it is a catastrophe for all your life. So I don't prefer that you give up. And that's my personal advice to you. So, okay, if I ask you to do a change in this code, it will be very hard. The code mentioned that you are able to enter a character as an operator. If I ask you to enter a character here, it will be challenging for you. So this, you only accept plus, minus, asterisk, and so on. If I ask you to handle, if I give add, how can you do that?
What do you mean by add?
So add is equivalent for the plus, or you can give a, or you can give a capital or a small as an indication that you want an addition operation. So this is an operator. This is an operator that handles the addition, right? But it only can work if
we use the
plus
character.
Yes, but what if I this is also character, this is also character, this is only a. So if I put a, are you able to handle that? Or how can you handle that? Are you able to edit the code to be able to handle this a and a?
So you want me to change the operator instead of using character, is it?
At the moment, it's also using character. So this is also a character. But are you able to handle that here? So if
change it to a.
Yes, I mean, I want you to now to run the code and try to give a to your code and see what is going to be printed out.
Print nothing. If I use a, since we will have a problem. Just end the code.
Okay, so it means that we are not able to handle that, right? And not even an error message that occurs, right? Or appear.
Yeah. So what do you want me to do exactly?
I want you to edit your code and add the ability to handle that the user, when the user enter a, you accept that as a mark that we want to do addition. If the, let us focus first, not on the negative, but let's focus about this. So it means that the addition operation should be done if the user entered three things: plus, a, or a small. So and there is a way that you can make it easy for yourself. So actually, if you are smart enough, you will be able to know that actually in reality you have only two conditions: the plus or a character like that. Any idea how to change the code?
Yeah, I can add another, what you call,
Condition?
yeah, another condition for if the operator on the addition. But I couldn't find the or sign in my keyboard. Okay.
Mhm. Okay, that's a good start. Yeah. That is good, Daniel. Really good. Yeah.
Any number, right?
Yes, you just, yeah, just, okay. Interesting. That's excellent. That's excellent. Really excellent. I'm amazed. But my question to you, do you think that, so what you did is excellent, and I think that we can apply this to all, but okay, do you think there is any similarity between these two?
Which one? Which two?
These two. The A and A. There is a similarity between them, and maybe we can use one method to be able to convert something so that we reduce this into only two. So how many conditions you are checking here in this if condition? In this if, three conditions. Okay, we are able to reduce them to two. You know how?
Mm, I'm not sure.
Okay, but me, I understand from you. Why are you any reason behind you using double here? This is the first time I noticed that. I think is it a mistake?
Oh, maybe because
You use the double from
I
here?
yeah, I used it from there. I really didn't notice that.
Okay. Can you change it? So you want to change it to what?
So using character chart.
Interesting. Okay. So if I want you to reduce the three conditions here into two, any idea what can you add to be able to reduce these three conditions into two? Are you confused?
Yeah. I hmm, I use some instant. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused.
Okay, may I ask you, did you ever hear about um, a lowercase, a method that use the lowercase?
No, I haven't.
So there is a method that is called to lower case. So if you use that method, actually what it will do, it will convert what you attach to it before the dot into a lowercase. It means that regardless the user enter A capital or A small, we will convert the A capital into a small, which means if you do this conversion here, so you guarantee that all the operators that will be stored here will be either this plus, or it will be a small character like this. Did you understand what I'm trying to tell
Yeah,
you?
yeah. So it's a new function, right, for to locus, yeah?
Yes.
But so it means how do I apply the to-do list?
Okay. Let me give you an example. So away from what you are writing, I want you to create a string, and you store in this string A like that, and then you come and put a print statement, print line, something like that, and then you open a brackets, and then you put inside str dot to lower case. And then, so this, without you doing any changes here. So you can put it up here like what you're doing. You're correct, yes. You are, I think you need to put a double quotation. Does it still show an error? No, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Can you try to run? illegal start of expression. Where is error? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So did you manage to see that how we can convert a capital to small? So if we have if we do this operation, if we do a similar operation on the operator before we even come here. So but I have to admit that I think that there is a lot of improvement on your side. You are trying to put the two lowercase inside the if condition. My advice to you not to do that. Try to do it before the if condition. We are actually doing this kind of conversion before the if condition, just to simplify how the if condition looks like.
So the two lowercase, so if I'm using the two lowercase, that means I can't put the two lowercase function inside the if statement.
You can actually you can, but it will be too complicated. Okay, so as you can have seen from here, this produce an output. You printed that output. If you want this output to persist, so it means that you also need to save it somehow. So one possibility is that you have to put operator equal, and then you put your line here. So it means that whatever comes out from this side, so it will be stored again inside operator. If this is confusing to you, what about?
So that means I have to save. That means I have to save the operator.
Yes, because again, and this output, if you don't, it is a temporary output. If you don't save it, then it will never persist.
It shows it.
So it will keep showing you an error. So you actually have a challenge at the moment. Actually, do you understand what is the issue here at the moment? Your issue at the moment, if you are confused, can you see here what we used? We used a string to store this A capital. Okay, so these two lowercase in this form, it actually work with the strings. And just to notice here that here you are storing your operator using a character variable. So how do you think we are able to solve that? Well, if you change one thing, that other thing
Yeah.
will will not
Yeah.
work.
I think, yeah, I think this works.
You can try and see if it works or not, but I believe there will be some holes here and there.
String operators. String.
But value of is not bad. It's not a bad try. Don't give up. String dot value of is not a bad try. Yes. String dot value of that you deleted. Make Control Z, please. So this is not a bad try, except that. So how did you? So you use the scanner, and you need to get an input. So how you get a string? So you need to need to complete that. Scanner dot what? Dot next line or dot what? Yes, excellent. Okay. Do you know why this doesn't work? Can you check the error?
Doesn't show.
So at the moment, when you change that from character to string and you are using here a single quote like that, so it will treat it as a character. So this is a string. You're trying to compare a string to a character, so that's why it doesn't accept it.
So that means single quotation means for character value.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Not just for-
Okay, we can try to run and see. Hmm. It didn't even wait for you to put something. Am I right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Any idea what is the cause of that issue?
I said next line. Yes. Since scanner.
Okay, so could it be that this next line is not working perfectly? Or
Yeah.
do you need to put it in a separate? So maybe you need to take the input first and then start operation on the next line to do this string of.
Again?
Okay,
What's
so
the question?
what I'm saying is that there is actually two possibility of this error or two causes of this error. So one thing to be able to reduce the number of so we want to close up or find the source of the error. So what we want to do is that first we would prefer to separate this scanner dot next line and put it on a separate line before even that. And then we can use this string value of on a next line. So it means that we need to separate. We don't want here we're combining. You're taking input from the user, you're passing it here, and then you're converting it and storing it here. We this is kind of like three operations or two operations at the same line. Maybe we would like to separate to be able to understand what could be the issue.
Then
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So it doesn't accept that you put plus or minus and it says invalid character, right?
Yeah.
Why? Any idea?
Maybe because when the string operates, the operator read the next line.
So I would, okay, my advice to you, actually, this is a trick that that is not even in the syllabus. So this is, okay, just in case that this is the cause of the error. So normally, if we are taking double and we storing that double in a variable like that, um, when you press enter, actually there is an n that stays in the buffer in the RAM. And when you try to change from next double to next line, actually that causes an error. So it is like you are passing this /n only inside the scanner buffer, and it tried to save that inside the operator, and then when it check this /n against what you are writing, so it end up with the else, and then it write for you invalid character. So can you go down? Where did you write? Where did you actually print this invalid character? So you're printing it at the end. Okay. So what I recommend for this kind of issue is to try to put this. So don't change this. This should be the same. But to get rid of the /n that is result from the next double before, we would like to actually take it and discard it. So you put on this line, every time you take a double, and then you want to change from taking double to taking a string, I would advise you to write here an empty line that you don't use actually in your code. This is just to fix the problem here. So you write scanner, next line. And you don't save that to anything. So you take it just to actually get rid of this /n that remains. You cannot see that, but it is there in the buffer. So we want to get rid of that from the memory. Okay, so try this. This is one of the tricks that have been used before. So try to run and see if you still end up with the same error. So when you enter A, so now we managed to get rid of the error, right? Using that.
Yeah.
But now do you understand when you need to do that?
Yeah, when I'm using a double scanner, next double scanner.
Yes, when you're using double and you plan next to take a string. So when you do that, you have to put this line before you start to taking a string from the user. Else you will take the leftover from this operation. And you don't want the leftover. You don't want this /n. When you press enter, this is stored in the buffer. We don't want that. So we get rid of it by reading inside the buffer and storing it into nothing. So is it clear in your opinion?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know why now you print again invalid character?
Yeah, because I haven't set the condition yet.
Excellent. Okay. Any idea why you are getting the error again? Can you run using A capital, please, before you start troubleshooting? Oh, even A capital also is not accepted, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm. Any idea why A capital? Can you print your operator? Are you able to print it? To be able to see if something is going on behind what you or beyond what you expect?
Yeah, print. But it looks like then
What about this? This is you enter A, but actually you are getting what you are printing here, you are getting a small character. So in your if statement, you are only using A capital. Am I right? Okay, can you run again, please? And let us see what this print out. So put 10 and 5 and then A small. But still say invalid character. Why, in your opinion? Simple solution.
the this statement didn't read as A as an operator, right? Because I said here is capital A.
Yes, it's true. Yeah. And it should be.
It should be capital A if you are what's the results.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask you first? Can you explain to me the line number 18, what it does?
It changes the capital letters to what's it called small letter.
Okay. So when it changes, does it save the changing?
Yeah,
It change it in operator.
yeah,
So
safe.
if you always
Yeah.
convert from capital to small, do you expect that you will ever find any capital letter inside the operator after this conversion?
No.
So if no, then why in your condition you are checking for a capital? Why? If you guarantee by this conversion that you will never have a capital letter stored inside operator, so you should never inside your if statement check for a capital. You should always check for small, because so you check for a small, for s small, for m small, for multiplication. What, am I right?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Forget about, I mean, it doesn't matter about the solution.
Yeah.
The most important is that you understand. Oh, still giving us a small, even the small letter also giving us an error. Any idea why? We have studied something similar before. Do we use equal with strings, or we use a method?
Yeah, we use as a called. We also use one equal for string.
You sure? You sure? Do you still remember this method that we use for strings?
Yeah, I remember vaguely.
Does it work?
Mm.
It works?
Mm.
Okay. May you please confirm, just so we don't want to do all the remaining to save time. So actually, when you use equals, it's also good that you use equal here also. Okay, that will guarantee that there is no issue at all that will happen to us here. Is that clear so far?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So do you know that you should do the same for the minus and multiplication and division and modulus? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Can you check one more last time before we move on? No, use plus, please, because we didn't use for the equal yet or for anything other than plus. So still working, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So can we move on, please? Any question before we move on?
No.
Okay. But really, did you understand anything from what we said so far?
Yeah, I understand.
Did you?
For the, I have to remember for the equals, I have to put, for string, if I want to, it reads a character, I have to put dot equals, for it to really read the character. I have to remember that. And for the operator lowercase, every time I put a capital letter, it will come out as a small letter.
Okay.
And if I want to prevent from slash and visible slash n, means that I have to put read put an empty scanner down next line so it can read the next statement in the code.
I think, okay. Maybe you didn't phrase the last sentence perfectly, but I sense that you really understand it, right? Maybe you didn't phrase it correctly. Am I right? Or
Yeah, I did phrase it correct.
okay. So okay, let me share, please. Okay. So let me check here. So I would, okay, I mean, first share with you. I think you can see it. So this is the project folder for the ED English. Okay. So this is the Laravel directory. I think you are using Composer. Am I right? Are you using Composer? Do you know what is the meaning of Composer?
No, what was that?
Oh, so how did you install Laravel without using Composer?
I think I have a composer. It's just didn't. Yeah, I think I installed a composer inside the system.
So you do most of the commands by typing. You have to type through how to say so let me just share with you just how it looks like.
From the terminal inside the Visual Studio.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, maybe because I'm not using Visual Studio, so maybe this looks slightly different. But so okay, did you write any of these commands before like that?
Yeah.
So you use
I'm using Visual Studio to write the commands. I
okay.
didn't use Git.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. If you didn't use Git, also totally fine. So okay, now we go back. You see my folder, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you will see a file in your place in your project folder called .env. So I will edit it using, I prefer, and this is a very, very good editor. It's called Edit with Notepad++. You have to install that because that is not part of the Windows. So I believe I already opened that. So let me just share how I opened it here. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me open that here. Then let me share. So you can see my screen, I believe. This .env.
Yeah.
Okay, so your database is actually, database setting is actually here. So the name of your database should be here, and the password and username also you need to set here. So if you want to switch from one database to another, you need to do that here. Are you able to open from your side the current database that you're using, or use your .env file? Daniel, are you confused?
Yeah. I have to download the Notepad++ first.
No need. At the moment, no need.
Oh.
Later after the class. But you can edit it using a notepad. Do you know how to use a notepad?
Yeah.
So can you share the folder that you have for your project, how it looks like? Are you able to do that?
I couldn't open the folder inside the notepad.
No. You just need to, no, don't open it using the notepad. Just share the folder itself using Zoom. I want to see how your folder looks like. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
Is it hard?
I'm just trying to find the folder for this.
Okay, that is great. So you have this ENV, right? Can you right click, please? Right click. Okay, so we will try to see if we are able. So can you say send to? Let me see. We don't have Notepad here. Okay, that is. Do you know how to open a Notepad first, far away from this folder? So do you know how to go to the Windows and open Notepad?
Notepad, right?
Yes, just, yeah, type Notepad. Yes, exactly. Yes. So I want you to drag the .env file inside. So you have to take this Notepad aside. Yes. And try to, yeah, that's good. Okay. So now it is open. Okay. Is this the first time you open that?
Yeah, it's first time.
Okay. So like I said, your database at the moment that you're using, it is this one, Laravel. It's called Laravel. This two, you don't need to change anything. This two also, you don't need to change anything. And this is MySQL. We need to figure out, are you using Laravel? The name of your database now is called Laravel. If it is, so we actually, we want to check if this is the database that you really want to use or not. So you can, by changing the name of the database here, you actually will connect to different database. Is that clear to you now?
Yeah, it's clear. So that means I just have to change inside the notepad, right?
Yes, and save it. You have to, yeah.
I have to
Okay.
say, okay.
Yes.
Alright.
So it is a bit, I mean, so just notice that it doesn't even have a file name. It is just .env. So can you try to save? Control S.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, so good. What I want to say is that as long as it doesn't show us an error, because sometimes Notepad do funny things with when the file is not in a .text format. But okay, since you managed to save that, so that's great actually. And let me also tell you some trick here. The trick is that I would like you always to make a backup copies from your code. You do not use Git. Do you know how to use Git? Git. Oh, do
Yeah,
you? Okay,
not as not as
perfect.
not as not as perfect, but
Okay,
yeah, I can use it.
you okay. So do you know why we need to ever need Git?
No, I don't.
Okay, so where did you learn it?
At the university, my class.
Okay, so the problem is, so this Git is actually creating, it's a database for our code. Okay, we don't use Git in our project, but we use it to protect versions from the code that we write. So Git actually put all the code that you write in its own database. We don't need to figure out the database itself, but what we need to do is that by using Git, so if you do certain times, your project is working fine. And then you change 2 or 3 lines of code, and then your project all collapse. It doesn't work anymore. So your only protection is 2 things. You either use Git or you take a backup copies from your code if it works. So every time your code start to work and it's producing a good result, take a backup copy from this folder. So you go out to this ORCID, you pack up this file, you make it a zip file or whatsoever, and store it in a safe place. So this is the traditional old style way. But actually, and this is painful because every time you need to take a backup, you need to write the date of that backup. So the backup, how you use it. So if you do a change and this change doesn't work, and then you are not able to revert the change and still the code does not really work and you don't know what's going on. So you need to remove the current code and use a backup to recover the project folder. So unless if you don't do that, you are stuck. You will not be able to continue working on the project. But Git actually it saves the product code or project code for you. So every time you actually make the code works, so you do something called commit. So by doing commit and marking a text inside the commit, you say, okay, I made maybe the login work. Okay, so this change it take a copy from all the files inside your. So before you write a commit, you have to write git add -a, which is you take all the files and make the git take a copy from all the files internally without you doing anything. You just need to write this, and then you write git commit -m, and then you write a remark. So this remark will tell, okay, you have done something and it worked. You have done something and it worked. So you only commit once something worked with you. So if you do a change after this commit, if you do a change that make the code does not work, you are able to go back to the last commit. So you are able to tell him, I want to go back to my last commit and remove all the changes that I have done. But you do that with a single line without need to copy and take backup and then check which backup is already working and which one is not working and so on. Did you understand what I say? So this is the protection that you can do to yourself by using Git. and it's up to you. You have to invest some time in learning how to use Git to be able to use it. But once you know how to use it, it's quite simple. And of course, I can't emphasize this a lot. Most of the companies that is worth its salary will require you to know Git, because you protect your code and your working time, and save a lot of time actually by using Git. So far,
Yeah.
do you catch anything from what I said? Even if you don't catch, I would like you to listen again. I know that I talked a lot, but did you catch 50 or 60% of what I said about Git?
Yeah, I got it. So that means I have to create a new file. Then the Git will save inside my file or inside the GitHub.
No,
Because I use
it's totally up to you. You can, so once you create a Git, okay, so let me just let me give you an example. Can you stop sharing, please? So I will open this. Okay, so now you see I'm inside here, right? So I would say, I think better use, no, better use here. Let me try to remember that. So you see now I am saying Git init. Okay, so Git init, once I create it, it will start to make an empty database about my code inside the project folder. How I know this? Okay, you have a look at my folder. Can you see that this .git folder here?
Yeah.
So this is created by my command. Okay, so it's just simple command. I now created an empty database. Now I would like to say to Git, please. Okay, let me share again the command line. Okay, so I would say Git, I think add -a, if I can remember correctly. So if I press enter, it will, I'm telling him now take a copy from all the files inside my easy English folder. So now he adds them as a preparation to take a backup copy from them. So he will not do a backup copy now. And this line, you only start to write it once you have done all the changes. If you do a change again, so you have to call that file again. Okay, so because I didn't do any changes, so you see that there is no, he didn't say that there is, he didn't write. So you see here, he's telling me that he have taken all these files and added to his database and start to monitoring it. But when I write the same file again, I mean the same command again, because I didn't do any real changes in the files, so nothing was outputted here to me. Okay, so okay, now I said we do this command after you do all the changes inside your project. Okay, and okay, you want to start to save what you reach it at, so you say get commit -m. Okay, the login page seemed to work. Sorry, and I added a student dashboard. So this is an example of what you can write as a text in the commit. So okay, now by doing so, I already take a backup copy from actually my code. All the files inside the folder, I take a backup copy for it. Okay, so there is many commands that can tell. So get status, for example. So okay, get log, I believe. So can you see that? Okay, when you have a lot of commits, you will see. So when I say get log, actually this is the first commit that I have done, and this commit have a text, and this is the text. So when you so typically you will have a lot of commits in your project because every time you change something, it works, you save it. Okay, and it will be mentioned here. So typically you can have, okay, so just let me do a single change and then I will show you. Okay, let me do just a single change here. I just write any comment for testing, and then I do another commit. So have a look when I write git add -a, I believe add should be small. So, okay. So do you see that he said that I do a change in the authentication or authentication controller here? So he mentioned that there is some changes because I did a change. Okay, I write a comment on the file. So he noticed that once I write this command. So I will write commit. Okay, let me go again to commit here. I change a commit with a comment in the file of authentication control. Okay, so by doing so, if I say, okay, get log, so can you now start to see that I start to have more than one commit that appears to me? So this is the last commit, and this is the comment with it, and this is the previous commit that I started with, and then so you keep adding commits after a commit, and then anytime you see that, oh, this change does not work for me, I want to go back to the first commit. So you are able actually to revert all your code by just writing one line, by resetting your code to a certain mark. So you are taking marks of your code and saving it using Git. Did I confuse you, or did I manage to really let you know something? Is it confusing?
No,
it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing. Try to adapt.
Okay, can you ask me, or you prefer to listen to the recording? Do you want to ask me anything from what's confusing you? Where did I lose you? I believe I lost you somewhere, maybe 5 or 6 minutes ago. Or what is the last thing did you understand from what I said?
I think during the git commit.
This is the last thing that you understood, git commit? You know how to use it?
Yeah, git commit. Yeah, I managed, but I haven't understand on how to commit exactly. So that how to start means I have to get what's it called? Get init, right? To
Yes,
start the
yes, exactly. But of course, you cannot write git init unless you install git itself. You have to download git and use the git cmd like what I'm doing, and then you have to navigate to your project folder, and then you start to inside your project folder. When you are inside your project folder, you write git init. So that is initializing an empty database that you are telling it, okay, I want to start saving my files, but you didn't tell him what file to save yet. Just git init is going to, and you have to be aware git init is done only one time. But git add, so okay, after you do git init one time, only one time when you create a project. After this, you only need to use two commands: git add -a. So every time you do a change, you want to save it, you have to do two commands. This git git add -a. Okay, so you are telling him this command
the
is
minus. Wait, so the minus a is the file, right?
it is telling all the files. It is short. Okay, so if I write, I believe if I write just if I write -add, so let me see. If I write help help, I believe. Yes. So if I write help, and we try to navigate to add, let me see. Okay. So can you see here what the add does? So it adds file contents to the index. When I pass it -a, it actually, this is short. So this is a command. You write it with get. And again, when I say after the add command, which is the add command is add file contents to the index. But I don't want to add a single file. I want to add all the files inside my folder to be saved inside the code index, or you can call it code database. So do you know what is a database? A database is a place to store information, am I right?
Yeah.
But we are creating a code database without the need to create the database itself, or we worry ourselves about anything. This is a database. Git is a database that is designed to store folders and files and our codes. So it do that for us. And how we do that? By saying get init. So it builds the database for us without us caring about the columns or the tables or anything. Okay, we just say get init to tell init that we would like to actually store our project folder inside a database, but there is nothing stored yet. They just create an initial copy from that database. Okay, and then this you can suppose by right that you write get add .env, for example. So this is a single file that you want to add to the database. But I don't want to add single files. I want to add all at one shot. So instead of adding the authentication controller.php, instead of adding the dashboard.php, single file by single file, I don't want to keep repeating that. So I use a short by writing get add. And instead of writing that, I write -a. -a will grab all the folders and files inside the project folder and start to store it inside our code database. How it does that, we don't care. Not our job. I mean, you can learn more about it, but I'm telling you a shortcut. I know sometimes you have to know that teaching the Git itself, maybe like, I believe maybe 3 or 4 hours of classes but I'm just giving you a shortcut. I mean, we only have 1 class a week. So we are not in a position that I can waste 3 or 4 hours just only explaining you Git, which is part of your project. Do you understand why I'm doing that? I'm trying to help you, but with shortcuts. Forgive me. I mean, I'm trying my best to use available time. So please forgive me for that I'm trying to find shortcuts. So I'm just guiding you. So maybe if you want more, maybe some videos, and then you try to watch some videos, try to watch my video again, try watch other videos if possible, and then you can come up with questions to me next class. I think this is the best use of time if you agree. If you feel that you are stuck, then I have to obey what makes you understand. Because if I lose you, what is the point? I want to give you the best, but if I lose you in the middle, I want to take you from here to USA. But if I lose you in the airport and I go alone myself to USA, it doesn't make any sense. So I have to go back and make sure that I bring you all the way, even if we walk slowly. It doesn't matter. The most important is you. You are the target. So tell me, did you manage to understand what I meant by get add -a?
Yeah, I managed to understand.
Okay. So again, what we said, get init, only one time you do it. And then every time you do a single change that really works, okay, then you have to test and make sure that it's okay. The page already works, the functionality is okay. You don't need to actually make sure that all the bugs are fixed. No need. just if you find that you manage to make something work, fix it and save it. So take a copy from the files by writing git add -a. You're taking copy all the files and you are storing it in the database. This is the first. I mean, you are not storing it, you are just adding them to be stored. The command that causes the storing itself to be done, which is the get commit. So let us have a look here what the get commit does to you. So, okay, can you see here what get commits say? This is the help. So this is the explanation. It records the changes to the repository. Okay. So it record means that whatever you tell him that you want to store, so by telling him store all the changes in all the files, this command will tell him I want to store all the changes in all the files. But you do the storing itself by writing get commit. So that will take all the changes to all the files and record it to the database. Okay, so at the moment you are just by doing this commit, and just be aware, once you do this get init, don't ever do it again. If you do it again, you will empty the database. It means that you lose all the saving that you have done, or the code recording that you have done to the database. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you come ever to me, tell me, okay, I have done a correct change, but then I do some changes and it doesn't work. I want to revert back. So I can easily help you to revert back to something that the last code that really worked with you. But don't ever try to write get init again after you do it the first time. It's only done one time. If you do it again, it will empty all the saving or recording that you have done to the database. So far, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Let me talk about something really important, because that will really help you to understand. Let me see here. I can't see that here. So I'm not using Visual Studio because yeah, I have a lot of projects, and I like one browser to actually sorry, one IDE to use it for everything, for PHP, for Java, and many things. Okay, so for me, I prefer a different browser, which is Apache NetBeans. I use it for a long time, and I don't want to change it. So, but whatever I'm telling you actually will work for you for everything. So let me just share with you. Okay, so I think by now you already know how to create routes, and where to create views, and where to create these kind of controllers, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you figure out how to actually do a log? How to log a text? Did you figure out that? You remember we talked to you about log text. So the log text actually is located, let me see here. So under storage, you find a file called logs, and then inside it you find laravel.log. So if I open that file, so this is a single file here, and this is all the things that happen inside your code. It is logged out this way. So if you can look here, this is information that I personally logged or tried to store when, so this will be logged based on a command that I write inside the code. Every time I use the log command, this information will be stored with the time that it happens. So if you face a problem inside your code, the only way, like I told you before, is to use log. So before I show you the way to use the log, but inside the PHP code without the Laravel framework. Inside the Laravel framework, if you want to log some information, so one of the ways is to use log like that if you are trying to log an error. Okay, so this is how you do it. So you write a text like that, authentication not found, and then you start to key in the data that you want to actually store. And like I told you before also, okay, let me see. Just a single example here. So this information, so there is many types of log information. Sometimes you log info, which is just you want to log, you want to record the information that was saved inside the memory. And sometimes you want to log an error, like in this case. So here you are logging an error. So the error text will be authentication failed, user not found. Okay. So this will log an error and it will look so much different inside the code. So you see, this is how the error looks like. And this is how the info looks like. So it means that if you want to search, so you can say local.info, or you can say local.error. So you are able to search for errors that occurred inside your code. And then you are able to go to previous or next and so on. Okay, so here I can see that access denied. So it means that when I try to log in, or when I try to do some operation on the database, actually the local operation at localhost, it have a password error, and this error is actually a problem with the database, and I fixed that problem. Okay, so it was trying to query something from the database, asterisk from table users, and it was passing the username as student. Okay, and there was a problem because I set the password for the database wrongly in the .env file, and I corrected that. So by searching local.error, you're able to find errors inside the Laravel. This is the only way for you to start to figure out how things are going. So please, after our class, have a look again at this this kind of logging. So logging information, you pass it a text and you pass it the information that you want to save. Here, I'm trying to save what? Session is actually this session I talked to you about before. So once you log in, you are saving inside the RAM, and this is the only way to save things: the user ID and his role and the username. You told me before that you are not able to recognize a teacher from a student, from a parent, from an admin. So this is the only way. So after you log in, after you confirm that everything is okay, so definitely you query the database, and then you return the content from the database. So here I do this query, okay, using the username I got, and then I store everything inside user, and here I'm storing the user ID and the role and the username that was returned from my SQL query inside the session. And then I would always like to check the session data. So I saved all the data inside the log file. And this is very, very important. I know that I'm moving fast. I'm just rushing to finish before the class ends. I wanted to pass the information, but please ask me and tell me, was you confused? Would you like more clarification so I can take care of that in the next classes?
No, actually, I understand what you're trying to explain.
Okay. So did you ever use log so far?
So far, no. I think I just recognize log. I just use usually I just use the controller, routes, views, just things like that. I didn't use log
Okay.
side the
So yeah,
code.
and also you have to understand that log, especially when you're logging an error, will prevent the errors from appearing to the user. And we only want certain errors to appear to the user and to your professors. You don't want your, I mean, I'm sorry to say this word, but we don't want the shit to comes out. We want to hide the bad things. So anything, there is, I mean, even if you are the super programmer, definitely at certain times when the professor are trying to check your code or to even test your program or your website, they will come up, they will test your code using a different way that you do, and there will be errors. So it is better to log these errors and to hide it from users and to show only certain messages to the user, but you should be able to figure out what happened. So you can find everything about the errors again here. I don't need to emphasize that anymore, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you see the if statement here. I think you are able to check the code. So what I'm saying here, if the role is admin, then you will go to the admin dashboard. If the role is student, then you go to student dashboard. Again, my table users is only a single table that I use it for everybody. I use it to log in the teachers. I use it to log in the parents, everybody. Is it so far okay? Is it so far clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me see. I wanted to do what? I don't know if we have really any time to go through anything else. If you have no question, I think we unfortunately, let me see. I think I have no heart to not to give you anything anymore. So let me just give you just a few, 1 or 2 slides more, please. I'm sorry, but yeah, we need to make use most of the time because you are only having one class.
Okay.
So
Sure.
okay, can you see this is a Java? So we're moving again to
Yeah.
Java. I think this is quite simple, not so difficult. Did you ever see this code before? Any idea what this code does?
It finds the part number.
So
Part number. Yeah.
okay, so
For the integer n.
so yes, perfect, excellent. Yes, I salute you here. So this we are checking. So if we are passing a 5 and we know that if we check 5, and so if we divide 5 by 2 is actually 2 point something, right? 2.5,
Yeah.
right? So this will result into a remainder of 1. Okay. So it means that it is not equal 0. So we will return true here, that it is odd, right? 5 is odd. So, okay, are we able to simplify that code better than that? Actually, yes. It might appear confusing, but let us have a look. So we are able to actually simplify that by trying to simplify that by doing this. So we are putting this test condition here, and we are trying to save the result into a test Boolean variable. And then we put inside the if statement this test. If it is true, so this means that this is odd. Am I right? Is that modification clear to you? So do you see what we did here?
Sure. Next slide.
Okay. The only difference is that we took the condition from here, we put it here, and we save the result inside the variable.
Okay.
So far clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, that's excellent. Now, I would actually like to tell you that the if statement that we have done here is actually not even necessary. So we can just omit the if statement and we can just return test variable. And based on the result, so definitely if this is true, so true will be stored here. So when you say you return true, it will return the true. You don't need to actually write a whole if statement of maybe 4 or 5 lines just to return true, because test itself will contain true or false. So did you understand this?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. And there is one slight improvement, one more that we can do it. We don't need even to store the result of this inside a variable. We can just simply take the whole thing and put it inside the return. This is confusing to most of the new students. It is clear. But if you understand this, this is a big advance. It will be in your coding. So you know that, okay, I can save 3 or 4 lines by just understanding that I can save this condition in a variable and I can return that variable. If you are able to understand that, that will be so good. So do you understand what we did here? How we changed that from here to here? Just from 2 lines to 1 line, how we did that?
Yeah, we just put the condition aside, just return the boolean from the condition, right?
Okay, yes. So I will put this slide as a homework for you to write it, and I will question your understanding again. So you need to write that code, these 2 code, 1 and 2, as a homework, as a part of your homework. Is it okay? Did we agree
Yeah,
about that?
yeah, we agree. It's okay.
Okay. If you have no question, then we should end up our class here. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Any question? Anything you want to tell me before we go?
No question.
Really?
Yeah, I think for the Boolean Zen and everything, I understand. About the Git, I understand around about 60%. I have to look back the video.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it. And then for the project, I think I need to find out how do I what's it called? Differentiate different rules inside the system.
Do you need me to pass you a copy from this authentication controller?
Yeah, if it's possible, yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Yeah, good.
that's a big help.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, I will do that. Okay. See you next class.
All right. See you next
Okay.
class. Thank
Take
you.
care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.